Julia Gillard has obviously been watching the right events at the Olympic Games because she's come back to work fired up and feisty and with a clear will to win. And her first contest, or at least the first heat of it, is to take on Tony Abbott about electricity prices. Abbott's great big lie, of course, is that the great big tax, the carbon tax, is responsible for everything. So Gillard's job is to show this simply isn't true. And frankly, it isn't very hard, given that electricity prices have been rising for at least 2.5 years before the carbon tax was even implemented. So Gillard has turned her attention to the States. Now, the way the price rises have worked is that the carbon tax is and will be responsible for about a 10%, but this is all covered by the federal government's compensation. About another third comes from programs like renewable energy programs, which have had exactly the effect they're intended to. They have put up the price of coal-fired electricity. But by far the biggest chunk, more than half of it, is a result of the state governments giving the electricity companies open slather. They've been able to build as much as they like in the way of new pylons, new poles, new wiring, new cables, you name it. And it appears that they have spent money like drunken sailors, in the sure knowledge, of course, that they can get it back from the consumers. They can pass all the costs on. Now, Gillard says it's enough of this, and she wants the states to come to the party. She's given them what amounts to an ultimatum. By the end of the year, the premiers will be called together again, and they're to come up with a plan to hold these electricity prices down, to at least limit the price rises. And if they don't, well, Gillard will call in the regulators. She'll get new legislation so she can rule with an iron fist. Well, okay, it all sounds good, but there is a problem. Most of the price rises that'll come through in the next couple of years are already in the mix. The investments have already been made and it's too late to call them back. And in addition, of course, Tony Abbott is going to be leaning on the Conservative premiers, that's the 4 biggest states, to follow his line and blame everything on the carbon tax. Gillard can't expect much willing cooperation, but the first signs are quite good. 2 of Abbott's ministers, Ian Macfarlane and Malcolm Turnbull, have rejected his line that Gillard's just making things up and that really it's all the fault of the carbon tax. They say no, clearly it isn't. And more importantly, 2 of the premiers, Barry O'Farrell from New South Wales and Campbell Newman from Queensland, have taken the same line. So there just could be a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but there'd bloody well better be. Gillard has made the promises. She'll hold electricity price rises down. And if she can't, then there will literally be hell to pay. Another Gillard lie, another Gillard falsehood, another Gillard hoax. So she must be praying that somebody somewhere can come up with the goods by December. And in the meantime, back to the Olympics. I'm Mungo MacCallum. Bloody pumpkin.